You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hello, this is Jim Posel for Wednesday, December 17, 2025. This is Safety Wars. We're trying out a new format here, just like we mentioned yesterday on the podcast, where we're going to be telling you what we are doing, and then we'll have our intro. Someone had suggested that. We're trying it out. Well, let's see how it works. So we're going to be going over some Department of Labor and OSHA press releases. Then we're going to head on over into the regular news. So, the safety war starts now.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Every day on the job there's a moment. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Where everything hangs in the balance. A loose bolt, a missed clip, a bad assumption. Or maybe the opposite, a choice made right. The right PPE, the right lockout, the right conversation at just the right time. Some folks call that luck. Here on Safety Wars we call it something else. The kiss of safety. The quiet moment where a safe choice gives you another sunrise, another paycheck, another night with the people you love. And the truth, no policy, no regulation, no binder full of procedures means a thing unless you live it, unless your team lives it, unless safety isn't a chore, it's a culture, a war we fight every day, one small decision at a time.
Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And it's me again. So, how's everybody doing out there? I tell you what, dude, one of these days I'm going to have one hell of a story for you folks, what I'm dealing with now. Let's just say all my experience from dealing with federal government is coming to a head here. We'll leave it at that, with a personal matter with a family member. Let's just say, make sure you get everything in writing, because if you don't, you're pretty much screwed. Don't take anyone's word for anything. So, not a negative thing. People say, well, Jim, you went dark real quick there. No, I'm not really going dark here. I'm just letting you know. Make sure you get things in writing, because if you don't, you're going to have a problem. So we're going to go right into this, right into all these OSHA things. We have 3 stories from OSHA here. U.S. Department of Labor cites Connecticut earthwork contractor for continued violations after follow-up inspection and proposed a $1.2 million fine. There's another story about a bakery in Ohio, and up in U.S. Department of Labor and Harvey Construction Corporation aligning for safety and health during the construction of Mark Stebbins Community Center. So, 3 stories that we're going to go into the accidents, and then we'll go into some regular news, like we said during the intro. And that's what's going on. So here we go. This is from Monday. U.S. Department of Labor cites Connecticut earthwork contractor for continued violations after follow-up inspection proposes a $1.2 million fine. Let's go to that. I remember everyone's innocent until proven guilty, and these things get negotiated downward and everything else, and vacated. U.S. Department of Labor's OSHA has again cited an Easton concrete and earthwork contractor for willfully failing to protect workers from the cave-in and excavation hazard, and proposed more than $1.2 million in fines after a follow-up inspection uncovered numerous willful violations. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. In December 2023, OSHA officials responded to a workplace fatality at a New Canaan work site that claimed the life of a Sound Construction Incorporated worker. As a result of that investigation, OSHA cited the employer for 2 willful and 5 serious violations and entered into a settlement agreement requiring the owner to submit monthly lists of active work sites and allow OSHA to randomly inspect them to determine trenching and excavation safety standard compliance. On June 12, 2025, OSHA initiated an inspection at a Sound construction site in Stamford and cited the employer for 7 willful and 4 serious violations related to excavation hazards. Inspectors found the employer failed to train workers on unsafe trenching and excavation hazards, provide adequate protection from cave-ins, and require daily excavation inspections, follow trench shield installation standards, and backfill shields to prevent hazardous movement. OSHA proposed a $1.2 million plus penalty for violations found in the follow-up inspection. So basically what it comes down to is that they had one inspection, they went through the whole process, they had a follow-up one, and still it didn't get to them with that. So this is what we're going to do. Let's do a establishment search on this. This is from the bakery, right? We're talking about the bakery also. So here it is. Hang on, I forgot. With this, hold on. All right, so here we go. This is the actual citation here from June 17, 2024. The establishment search has not been updated for the current story here. So this was the inspection date from 12/22/2023 to 4/29/2024. Right, and this as a review, they have instructions what you're supposed to do, posting, and inform you of your rights, and you have the right to appeal and everything else here. And this is your abatement form, your certification of corrective action, right? A worksheet, the citation number and item number was corrected on a date, and then by what's the method of abatement, and then it's supposed to be certified. So here we have from citation 1, 1910-26.21. The employer did not instruct each employee in the recognition and avoidance of unsafe conditions and the regulations applicable to his work environment, and to control and eliminate any hazards or other exposure to illnesses or injury. And on or about December 21st, the employer did not provide training for employee 2 to recognize and avoid unsafe conditions while working within an unprotected trench exposed to struck by and engulfment hazards. On or about December 22nd, 2023, the employer did not provide training for employee 2 to recognize and avoid unsafe conditions while working within an unprotected area. So the same person, right? So again, 22 days in a row, did not instruct them. They probably, in their defense, they probably didn't know what the hell was going on. And then this is citation, that was 16,131. Citation 1, item 2, another 16,131. The employer did not instruct the employee in the recognition, right, for employee number 3, right, twice, 16,131. And citation 1, item 3, type of violation serious. And this is for employee 4. So they got them for each employee. 16,131. Citation 1, item 4, they did for another employee. Again, no training. How much, by the way, how much does training go for? You could find it for a hell of a lot less than $16,131 is the answer. But then, of course, now if you're going to give them training, then you have to obviously go and follow rules. Right? It's like a novel thing, right? Don't do illegal crap, and you don't have a problem. This is from citation 2, item 1, willful serious. Employees were not protected from excavated or other materials or equipment that could pose a hazard by falling or rolling into excavations. On or about December 21st, 2023, employees were exposed to struck by and engulfment hazards while working around and in a trench with a Kubota excavator, and that was positioned on the edge of the trench with no restraining devices to prevent it from falling or rolling into the trench. On or about December 22nd, same deal. Right, so $161,000 plus. Citation 2, item 2, another willful serious. Each employee in the excavation was not protected by cave-ins by an adequate protection system. 12-foot deep trench, $161,000 and change, for a grand total of $394,083. I mean, that was proposed. They, probably negotiated this downward a little bit here with this. So I tell you what, let's see here. Let's do an establishment search here. Sound construction. And this is all in response to a fatal injury from December 2023. Again, 2 days in a row, it's like, and in 2016, the agency cited the employee for 3 violations out of Trumbull versus. So let's see here. So here we have sound construction, right? And again, this is all publicly available information. So you can do OSHA establishment search. If you're on the video end, we go through this all the way so we could show people how it's done. Sound construction, and we're going to go all the way back to 2016. And well, look at this. They have a whole bunch of stuff here. But some of this, so here we have going back. So here we have sound construction going back to here. Safe and boom. Right, so back then they had. I'm assuming it's the same one. May not be. It's from a different state here. Here we have one here. This was the follow-up. And 2023 here. The violations. Right, so this is what it came down here to. Right, so the this was negotiated down and vacated. If you look here on this, so all these things, they started out with $394,000. They negotiated it down. OSHA vacated for whatever reason. I don't know why they vacate things. They vacated 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7 violations, and they reduced. Here is one from 161,000 down to 40,000. So that's like a boom, boom, 3, 4. So that is like a 75% reduction, right? Gave him a pretty, on a willful, they gave him a 75% reduction in penalty. Here we have another one, and one from 16,000 to 12,000. So they lobbed off a couple of on that. And then going down, they went from 161,323 down on a willful, this is, down, and there was a fatality apparently, down to 7,500. You think that's a little, I don't know. Let me get to the other here. So you think that might be just a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of words I'm looking for. Here, let me get this thing here. Don't you think that's a little bit up? I think it is. You know? So they went from $394,000 in penalties down to $60,000, right? Because there's a scheme in there that allows you to do that, right? Depending on your size and scope of the employer and everything else, down to a lot less. So this was let's round it up to 400,000 or 60,000. So that's a big reduction there. So that's 25. Yeah, that's more than a 75% reduction there. And then they come back a couple years later, and they whack them with $1.2 million in proposed things. So let's see how this is going to work out here. And it sounds like it's the same thing: 2 willful and 5 serious violations. 2 willful, 5 serious, right? So in 2023, right? And everything else, they come back, 1.2 million. There's still the same crap going on, apparently. So what was that? Train workers, right? Provide adequate protection, require daily excavation and inspections, and follow trench shield installation standards, and backfill shields to prevent hazardous movement. I don't know what to tell you. Don't know what to tell you on this one. It's mind-blowing. So the question is this, right? The employer here, I'm going to assume it's the same owners. Might not be the same owners. I don't know what the context is. It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look very like you care about your employees on that one. So here we have. Here we have, and this has been all over LinkedIn, right? And there was a bakery in my neighborhood a couple years ago that got whacked by the Department of Labor also for some different things. Sorry about that. I got Sodica here. U.S. Department of Labor has cited an Ohio commercial bakery after a federal investigation determined the employer had allegedly exposed workers to unsafe working conditions, including chemical, coffee caught-in, pinch point, and struck hazards. In addition to these serious violations, OSHA cited the employee for 3 repeat violations for failing to train workers on lotto, failing to lock out and tag out machines, and failing to guard dangerous machines. These violations expose employees to pinch points, struck by, and caught in hazards. OSHA cited New Horizons Baking Company for 3 repeat, 9 serious, and 1 other than serious violation, with a proposed penalty of $394,849. So we did a little bit of. Here is the New Horizons Bakery in Ohio. So this is back in 2003. So they had 1910 to 12, right? And that was a serious one. Reduced that by almost 50%. General requirements for all machines, meaning guarding primarily with that. And this other one was they reduced it by 50%. Was record keeping. A log of all recordable work-related injuries and illnesses was not completed in the detail required by the regulation. Right? The employer did not provide the required injury or illness descriptions on the OSHA 300 log, so they filled out their log wrong for calendar year 2022. The descriptions in column F lacked the required information, including, but not limited to, the object or task that caused the injury and the part of the body that was infected. Might have been a misunderstanding on HIPAA, right? And I had someone yesterday try to lecture me on HIPAA. It was kind of amusing. So here we have, right, what information they could or couldn't release was great on something. It was great. They couldn't release the HIPAA because of HIPAA privacy rules. They couldn't release the medical information on somebody who was on the phone with them because there was another person on the phone with them. Right, so it was in a conference call, and it was like, really? Really? Oh, yeah, we can't. HIPAA, don't you understand? I have the person on the phone with me. Oh, HIPAA. It's like, ay. So this was on the same thing with the bakery. This was a lockout tagout. The employer did not provide training, right, on lockout tagout. The employer did not adequately train employees. And here we go on another one. Again, they reduced it by half almost. There's with that. Procedures for lockout and tagout. I'm sorry, I should be sharing this. Let me start over here, right? So this is what we have. Initial penalty, and they reduced everything by almost half. And here we have another one here with guarding on machines. Right? Just like what you like to hear about food, right? I tell you. And let's see what else we got here. So here we have also, I believe we covered this last week. U.S. Department of Labor cites an Idaho transformer manufacturer for more than $986,000 for safety violations. 53 serious and repeat violations, including failure to guard machinery, exposing workers to fall hazards, and failure to provide PPE. The company faces proposed penalties of $986,000. So I tell you what, let's see if they updated this one here. And what's the name of the company? Virginia Transformer Corporation. So let's do the establishment search here. Did they update this? I don't know. Come on, administration. Nope, not updated yet. So this was from a complaint. Right. They reduced, again, they had a reduction in penalties here. So no updates on that. So as they become available, we're going to continue to update you on that. All right, so from the Department of Labor here, let's go back. All right, we covered a lot of this stuff, but here we have one from, again, sorry, folks, I'm going through this. Bakery, I'm just making sure we got everything. So here we have something else in the Davis-Bacon Act. So the U.S. Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division announced the availability of two important updates designed to improve compliance and reporting for contractors required to submit weekly payrolls under the Davis-Bacon and related acts. Right? So the new resources include an online fillable version of Form WH-347 that provides contractors and subcontractors with an efficient way to submit accurate weekly payroll records. Well, why do we have the Davis-Bacon Act? Real simple. So the unions could compete with non-union workers. So you could go and figure out exactly how much you're supposed to be paying their workers. So contract, right, and they have different things, right? Key things employers need to know on that, and different posters for government contracts. And here, let me see here. I tell you what, we're just going to cut to commercial break, and we will be right back. All right.
Safety Wars is streaming now.
SafetyFM.com.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hackneyed? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that is designed to actually address and assess your hazards and liabilities and is not standardized baloney from generations ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call me, Jim Polzel, at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you are receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
In an unpredictable world, one voice rises above the chaos. Meet Jim Polzel, a seasoned safety expert who's navigated through some of the most dangerous scenarios, from anthrax, explosive cleanups, disasters, and numerous environmental cleanups, and lived to tell the tale. Now he's bringing his wealth of knowledge, insights, and experiences to you through Safety Wars. From workplace hazards to the hidden dangers in your own home, Jim covers it all with his engaging storytelling. Safety Wars isn't just a podcast, it's your guide to a safer world. Join Jim Polzel and become part of the Safety Wars revolution. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts and videos. Safety Wars. Your safety is our mission.
Have you listened or watched
the Safety War Show. It does stream live on the radio and on the streamer-emers that we have. So if you have not taken a listen to Jim Bolzel and what the hell he's doing every evening with Safety Wars, I would strongly encourage you to take a view or take a listen, whichever option is available for you, and take a listen to what the hell he has going on. It's definitely, it will take some deep dives and some information that you might be interested in.
OSHA recordables, catastrophic losses, environmental disasters. You want answers? So do I. This is Jim Posel with Safety Wars.
That's my daddy!
So if you're following along here, we have the prevailing wages, right? The comparison charts here. And this used to be very easy information to come by, but apparently not so much anymore. They updated these websites. So we won't be doing that. But let's just say that the idea is that you're going to be paying benefits to your workers. So what we find out is, especially if you're in the rural areas, so you have, you're doing work on a site, and what do you need? You need something, you don't need something technical. You need like something small, like a landscaper, fence installer, somebody plowing snow. And oftentimes it's like this. Well, yeah, we need you to put in a fence, but we also need you to work by Davis-Bacon Wage Act levels. So what happens is they go from paying people minimum wage, and now you're talking, now you got to pay them something a lot more. And what ends up happening is, now we're going to be paying these people a lot more for this work. Now they're always going to want to, that work. It's like, yeah, really, just the way it is. So, here we go. We found it here. So here we have sam.gov. So let's say that you're going to be working in New York. Let's say what county we're going to be working in. Let's say my home county of Rockland County. So just scroll on down to Rockland County, Rensselaer, Rockland. Construction type. We're going to be doing a heavy construction. So with that, so published date, past week, right? And this is the wage determination here. With this, New York Davis-Bacon Act and why, blah, 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 blah. And let's open that up. So here we go with the different modifications. So here we have, for hazardous materials, material handler, you're supposed to be paying them on these Davis-Bacon Act jobs, and those are jobs that are federally funded or state funded in some cases. There's federal money involved. Guess what? So here we have $46.62 an hour and $49 an hour for fringe wages, right? How about for a bricklayer? So masons $47.44 and the fringe benefits at $38 an hour. And it goes through dock builder and pile driver. So $60 an hour regular rate, and then with fringe benefits, $55.84. An electrician, and they have all different types of levels of pay on here with that. And, you have also paid holidays thrown in here too. So let's see what else we have here. Electrician. Here we have the town of Stony Point. For an elevator mechanic, $73.07 an hour and $38.435 plus vacation plus paid holidays, right? An hour. With that, let's see here. Power equipment operator, right? If you're dealing with steel erection on there, right? got all those rates we have pointed out. Let's see if there's anything else. Tank erection. So, building construction, tank erection. So this is group number 7. So you're paying something like $64 an hour, $65 an hour, plus premium helicopter pilot. Let's see what else. Okay, labor. So building and residential construction, $39.05 an hour, 21 plus $21.95 fringe benefits. Hazardous waste handler on there is included. Why am I going through this? This is where we run into issues with everything here is with the Davis-Bacon Act. And the fact of the matter here is this. When you look through this, if you're a safety person, my question is this: how much are you making an hour? Are you classified correctly? That's the other thing, right? Because these are for overtime, non-exempt, meaning that you have to pay them overtime. What if you are a safety person? Are you making this kind of money or something close to this kind of money? Because if you are not, that's an issue. Well, what do you mean, Jim? That's an issue. That's an issue because when they find out that you're making half the amount of money they are, guess how much respect they're going to have for you? Pretty much nothing. So what it comes down to, if you're an employer and you value safety, you should probably be paying them the median, right? The median wage here for a safety professional, just the way it is. Because I've gotten this. Well, I'm making $75 an hour. I'm making $75, but they say, we're making $75 an hour. You're making $30 an hour or $25 an hour. Guess what? They value me 3 times more than you do, So therefore, why are you supervising me and telling me to put on safety glasses? Why are you telling me how to do my job? Oh, yeah, that happens. We don't like to talk about that, do we? No, we don't. Not really. So that's what we got going on there. And we're going to go to a brief commercial break, and then we'll come back after that.
From the front lines of the safety war, it's Safety Wars, with your host, Jim Posel on Safety FM. Get ready to face the harsh reality.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Silent night, not quite serene. Flashing lights paint the scene. The backup beeps a steady cry. Machines sing louder than the sky. Oh, the noise that keeps us sane. A warning hum, a life refrain. High, silent night, except the hum keeps the careless on the run. Don't kill the beep, don't dim the sound. It's the guardian of the
And we are back. How's everybody doing? So, on with the regular news of the day. Some of the other stuff, right? So what's the moral of the story here? Right. So oftentimes, and I have to deal with this fairly regularly. So we're working on federal projects, and on the federal projects, you're required not only the Davis-Bacon Act, but you're often required to have an outreach training. They're 10 or 30 hour. And employers, right, in my world, they want to go to the online programs. The online programs with the the establishment search, a lot of the other resources that are available out there, and there are many resources available, they don't actually go into this. These online resources don't go into this stuff. So go out there and get a regular trainer. If you are in a situation where you're dealing with workers that did not get the appropriate training or got training online, realize that you have to you have to make up for. You have to let them know, well, this is what you're supposed to know. I was having a conversation with a customer today about, I have a whole bunch of people here with OSHA 30 hour. So therefore, I don't have to do forklift training, respiratory training, or HAZCOM training. Not true. OSHA outreach training is just awareness level training. Even the 30-hour course is just awareness training. It's not real training. It's an awareness class. So basically, that's just what's going on out there. So what's my point? Point out to your workers that when they take an online class, they're not sharing with you all the information that they're supposed to be sharing with you. This is what you get. OSHA was created in 1971, first day of business, right? Or was it 1970, April 28th. And that gives you the right to a safe and healthful workplace free of recognized hazards. Everybody got that? These are your responsibilities as an employee. And it goes in one ear and out the other. And then these are what the responsibilities are of the employer. The employer, right? And then, we better listen up. This is what they're supposed to do. And then they forget, everything in there. And, right? And so what happens is, when I was teaching this over at a university that will no longer exist technically on July 1st, 2026, that's NJCU, New Jersey City University, I tried to train the people when I was doing outreach training on this is what you look for. You're worried about you're going for a job with an employer? Well, go and look up on the establishment search, see what you can find. Right? And I said, well, call out your employer. Who you work for now, or who have you worked in the past, blah, 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 have you worked with. Let's put them in there. And sure enough, all these hazards come up. Not only that, all this stuff came up often, blah, 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 blah. Oh, did they tell you that? That happened when you were working there. Did they tell you about that? No, they didn't tell us anything. Wow, that's great. I have a contractor I work with that the guy is a competent person. And I said to him, didn't you know that your employer was cited for fall protection violations? And if OSHA comes back and finds the same violations, guess what? It's going to be a willful violation in all likelihood, or a repeat violation. They didn't tell me that. Well, maybe they should have. Oh, wow. Again, that's the problem with the outreach courses here that are done online. And even in person, you get these trainers, they don't know the legal end of this. They have no concept on the legal end with this. And they rush through and they say, and I hear this in the recertification classes, man, it was a hellish experience. That first hour of training, it used to be 2 hours, should still be 2 hours, in my opinion. Well, that first hour of training, I don't know what to do. I'm like, you don't know what to do? Look at all the information you have out there. How can you not know what to do for an hour? I can literally make, if we were going to do a standards course, I can literally do the standards course one full day just on this. Really? Yeah, really. With this stuff. So, it's very frustrating. So here we have from the Epoch Times, Transportation Secretary unveils national strategy for automated aircraft. I think this was first explored in the 1980s with a movie with Chevy Chase and Gregory Hines, where Chevy Chase was an arms dealer. And it was comedy, but they were talking about the I forget the name of it, about drone technology, even back in the 1980s with this, right? So here we have drones, basically, from, and among other things. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced on December 17th the nation's first advanced air mobility national strategy, presenting a comprehensive plan to accelerate aircraft innovation and its incorporation in everyday American life. The strategy defines AAM, Advanced Air Mobility, as involving a wide range of different innovations for aircraft operating below 5,000 feet to move people and products more efficiently. Duffy says his strategy will revolutionize air travel and ensure America remains a global leader in aviation. They've been talking about this for a long time, like with air cars. They've been talking about that since the 1950s. The FAA has solicited applications for grants and project participation under the strategy, with winners to be announced in the spring. With that going on. So, again, what the idea would be, right? And it's probably, this goes many different ways here. Over the years, I've heard many different interviews, many different people looking for investments. What they're thinking is that these vehicles would most likely not start out over land. And these sort of like if you look at, if you ever saw a SpaceX launch, everything's done on the SpaceX launch on a computer, it looks like to me from the footage I've seen. And a lot of it is automated. So what the idea would be is that you would have an automated system, like this is air mobility. It would be an automated system where I want to go from point A to point B, and we're going to blah, 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 and the air, right? And this is how you get away from people not having pilot's licenses. Now, this would mean, for example, if you have a pilot's license now, and you're flying small commuter flights, like personal things. So for example, we had one guy at one of my former employers. He would go out and he would get we're going to meet a client out in Scranton. Okay, let's go down to Mercer County Airport. We'll get on a plane, go over there. I'll rent one out. We'll fly over to Scranton. Right, and then we meet the client in Scranton, maybe get a rental car over there, or today it's even easier with an Uber, and we do that. The other thing is this. Hey, I don't want to be, and this happened when I lived in Hoboken, where we had people at that time that were all PO'd over the rise in tolls. So what they would do is they'd take a canoe across the Hudson River on a canoe, a kayak, a boat, right? With that pleasure craft, because it was easier to do that and over there, especially in the summer, than it was to wait on traffic. So what the idea would be is that you would lock it in and fly from point A to point B. The other thing is this: offshore platforms, whether it's a drill rig, usually drill rig, or possibly delivering pilots, or maybe emergency care, medical care, things of that nature. Rather than going by helicopter, now we go and we put someone in an air car. And we have this small thing, and it would be a combination of boat and an airplane, and you fly out to wherever the ship is or whatever the situation is. You're able to either dock on the ship, or you are able to lower the person into the thing like a crew boat and then get the person back on the air. Things of that nature. It will be over water primarily first in one scheme until they got things, or over unpopulated areas until they get this technology worked out. That's one thing. I don't know. Need to look a little bit more into that, but it's been very well thought out since the 1950s on this. But what happened is cost. These things typically cost north of, last estimates I saw, $250,000 with that for a basic thing. And you still need a pilot's license for a lot of this stuff, unless you're flying less than 20 foot off the ground. From the last time I looked into this, it was around 15 years ago. Don't quote me on that. That's probably old technology here. And remember, if you're even going to fly a drone other than for personal use, as of today, you're going to require an FAA license for that, a pilot license there. I forget what level that is. Now, I remember back when I was in the 6th grade, 1982, this was going to be coming up in 1984, where the high school exit exam, right? Well, so New Jersey was going to put together a high school exit exam to show that not that you have not that you have the ability to do 12th grade work, but you have the ability to do 8th grade work, right? But basically, New Jersey was putting this on there. It was very controversial. They went there and tried to scare us. I went into private school after that where we didn't have to do that, but it was public school. And now New Jersey is coming on track to become the latest state to eliminate the graduation test, which measures 10th grade proficiency in English and math and is administered to all high school juniors. So what's their reasoning behind that? According to Assemblywoman Michelle Matsakudis, a Republican, Matsakudis, I think that's how you pronounce it, said the exam no longer serves the purpose. Students do not take it seriously. Districts can't rely on the results, and the data simply does not reflect real student learning. At the same time, administering the test pulls valuable time and resources from classroom instruction that would be far better spent teaching, mentoring, and preparing students for life beyond high school, which I would guess would be most kids are not going to college still on that. So only five other states, Florida, Louisiana, Ohio, Texas, Virginia, still have graduation tests. Okay, well, what about the New York regions? I don't know. They don't include that on there. Why isn't it included? New York does have that for that. I believe you have to take them. I better get up to date on this because I have a kid entering high school very shortly here. But now, the people who want to keep the test say, well, look, this is from Michael Petrilli, president of Fordham Institute Education Policy think tank. It's never been easier to graduate from high school in America, not today, and that is a problem. I have agreement on that, with that, where you have people who don't, I'm sorry, the knowledge is lacking on there with even with college, high school graduates, my opinion on there, right? So here we have the most dangerous states for Christmas in 2025. Vermont ranks first. Mississippi is the safest. Fires, and this is from studyfinds.org. Fires, icy roads, and alcohol rank among the most common holiday hazards. So Vermont ranks number one for Christmas risk with an 8.55 out of 10 danger score, driven by snow, injury rates, and Christmas Day fires. Mississippi comes out the safest at 5.44 out of 10. helped by very low snow probability and 0 fatal crashes reported on Christmas Day in 2023. The danger score blends a lot of holiday hazards, including crashes, alcohol, arrests, house fires, and even emergency-related Google searches. So it's not about the weather. Big takeaways, snowy states rank higher, but the biggest risks still come down to everyday choices like driving safely. All right, so that's what the, according to study finds. Where did this study come from? Healthcare staffing platform, NERSA. Right, so the study scored 45 states on a 10-point danger scale by analyzing fatal injuries, alcohol-related incidents, car accidents, arrests, emergency-related Google searches. That's a new one, right? AI spying on us. House fires and snow probability. Other states not included, Alabama, Alaska, Hawaii, Louisiana, and South Carolina, incomplete data availability. So emergency room visits spike by up to 20% during holiday season compared to average days, straining healthcare systems already managing typical winter health crises. Right? What makes Vermont more dangerous? State departments, fire departments reported 25 structure fires on Christmas Day 2024. The state records 72.4 accidental fatal injuries per 100,000 people annually. A near certain 98.6%, sounds like a body temperature there, of snow on Christmas Day makes travel treacherous and puts residents at risk for cold weather injuries. Residents consume 3.06 gallons of alcohol per person annually. Is that beer or does that include hard liquor or both? I don't know. However, fatal car accidents actually decreased by 5.2% in December compared to other months, with only one fatal crash reported in 2023. So Wisconsin, not only fires, fatal injuries, but they had food poisoning searches and 880 searches for the Heimlich maneuver. Really? I'm choking. They're making the symbol. Oh, let me look up the Heimlich maneuver. Hold on. Oh, I got a slow internet access here. Let's do that. Really? You need a first aid CPR class, dude. I don't know what to tell you. And it goes on and on. You can check that out on Study Finds. Here. Okay. So we were going to... So here's one for you. So remember Caroline Ellison? Right? She was moved from federal prison to community confinement after 11 months. She was the Alameda Researcher CEO. Right? She's in home confinement. Right? She's a former cryptocurrency executive and ex-girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried and has been quietly moved out of federal lockout after serving 11 months. Ellison, 31, was transferred October 16th from Connecticut right, to what's known as community confinement. Right? They're not giving anything else. So she was released 9 months early. Her attorneys declined for comment. Probably got good behavior thrown in there. And with that, and again, I don't know. It was just one of those things. Bitcoin, people are leaving Bitcoin. Right? The fallen 30% in the last couple of months. Something else there. Right? I tell you what, I still kick myself. I could have gotten in the first week of Bitcoin. I thought it was a scam. Right? Here we've had hurricane swarms in California. Here, and they're saying there's going to be a big one. And with that, all right. And we'll save the rest for tomorrow here. So for Safety Wars, this is Jim Posel, and I hope to be back tomorrow. We're going to go out with our normal outro. Right, you have an intro, you have an outro, and then followed up with some Christmas music after that. And as a reminder, next week, we're going to be promoting it a little bit later this week. We are having our first Safety Wars Christmas album out. So, looking forward to doing that. With that, no, we gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. You people don't know how. Your safety people don't know how to have fun. Sometimes we're gonna have fun, even if it's in a safety wars type of way. So we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, there we go.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
He's got a clipboard in his hand, a checklist long as the Rio Grande. He's watching close from the safety stand. Safety clauses coming to town. He sees you when you're bypassing. He knows when you skip the JSA. He'll write you up for cutting corners, so follow the rules every day. He's got PPE for every size. Steel-toed boots and goggles for your eyes. Don't mess around, don't improvise. Safety clauses coming to town. He's lurking by the fire exit. He's peeking in the tool shed too. You better secure that ladder now or he'll have a word with you. No shortcuts, no risks, no careless plans. He's the guardian of your work demands. So buckle up and hold on tight. Safety clause keeps it all just right. Safety clause is coming to town. He's whistling down the factory floor, inspecting every single door. Safety clause is coming to town. Ooh, coming to town.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and 1 consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.